And welcome back to Cork City, where all week our Laura has been out and about exploring what this glorious rebel county has to offer as a staycation destination, and it hasn't disappointed. So here's part 2 of our Cork City break.
Ireland's second largest city, Cork, is set in a beautiful environment where land, people and culture allow you to discover a quirky way to stimulate your senses, offering unmissable experience that every member of the family can enjoy. Along the banks of the Lee and beyond that, you can explore, interact and get to grips with this vibrant, bustling city. Affectionately known by Corkonians as the real capital, there is no shortage of places to visit in the beautiful city of Cork. As part of Fáilte Ireland's Keep Discovering campaign, I'm continuing my search for some of the best things to do while on your staycation. Cork City is home to the second largest natural harbour in the world, offering spectacular views and scenery. So what better way to continue my Cork City staycation than a boat ride with Cork Harbour Cruises, where Ireland's wild Atlantic way meets Ireland's ancient East. Located on the port of Cork Marina, this Cork City cruise is the perfect opportunity to set sail and explore. So I've decided to join the other staycationers for a refreshing scenic boat ride. Trish, what a day for it. We couldn't have asked for better weather for our boat trip this morning.
I know, it's a cracker, isn't it?
It's absolutely gorgeous being out here on the water with Cork Harbour Cruises. Tell us, what kind of routes do you offer?
Well, we've just done the harbour cruise, which is a 2-hour cruise. We really try to concentrate on groups or tours for all ages. So we have the lower harbour cruise, which is an hour around the islands, which is superb. And we're really excited this year. We got to open up to Spike Island from Crosshaven. So it's, as I said, it's really exciting because it opens up the other side of the city and that people can access a lot easier. And then we have the really popular ones, which are the twilight cruises that we run on a Friday evening and a Saturday evening from the city in Crosshaven. And after you finish your work and end of the week, you can sit back, relax on the boat and have a little tipple and try our salty tail cocktail. So
sounds delightful. The harbour tour we're on today, glorious views, but a lot of history attached to what we'll be seeing too.
Yeah, well, we're on the second largest natural harbour in the world after Sydney. So it was a big military port with maritime history. It's also a working port, as we could see from the port of Cork down to the Passage West Docklands to Rigaskiddy. So it's working as well, you know, and you just get to see so much on each distance.
One thing that really stood out for me was Blackrock Castle. Give us a bit of an insight into the history of that.
I love that spot. Do you know what I really like about Blackrock Castle? And everybody knows it as a castle. But the thing was, it was actually built as a fortification. This one and the one in Father Matthew, to prevent Cork from being raided by pirates. So they used to navigate the Loch Mahon and the winding channel that came through there earlier. But on low tides, it dries out to mud banks. So when the pirates were coming up, they used to out the fire in the tower in Blackrock Castle. They'd have a donkey walking the shoreline with a basket on his back and a fire. So as he's moving along, they weren't able to get their bearings and they'd catch him in the mud banks. So Cork never got raided by pirates again. So how clever in the 1500s was that? And
what's Blackrock Castle used as now? Is it inhabited?
It's an observatory, but you just get the best view of it from the water with the original tower.
You really do. I've also spotted the Navy base.
Allbowline is the home of the Irish Navy base, and that's on the lower harbour. So that's one of the islands that you actually get to travel around when you're doing the lower harbour cruise. We do a 1-hour trip around the islands, which is really interesting, and you get to see Cove also from the water, which is a spectacular view.
We can also spot Fáilte Wildlife Park from the water as well. I've not seen it from this viewpoint before.
Yes, and you get to see the folly. People often passed on the train going down to Fáilte or to Cove and seen this, what looks like a little castle, but it's actually the Fáilte Folly, and they are used as a sign of wealth.
Trish, what's feedback been like from people who've taken the cruise so far, given the fact you're such a new business?
Do you know what? They're blown away. They really are, because they've done boat trips whenever they've been in the holidays, and they started to do them here and they didn't realise how much we have and how beautiful it is in the harbour and the lush landscape and the history. You get such a buzz from everybody walking off the boat, and the reviews have been fabulous. It's great being working on this. I do really have the best job in the world.
Up next for my Cork staycation, the Rebel City Distillery, a truly unique venue right in the heart of Cork's docklands. The Rebel City Distillery is Cork City's first new distillery in almost 50 years, and I'm here to see what they have on offer for the likes of tourists like myself.
We ended up launching in the pandemic last June, but the project started a lot before that. My own background is in production, so we kind of wanted to take that knowledge and kind of build our own project. So it's myself and my wife Bhagya being from Kerala in southern India, so we wanted to take that influence of southern India and bring it into the gin that's made here in Cork. The signature botanicals in our gin come from Kerala from a women's collective cooperative there that take ingredients from the organic farmers in the locality of Vanamulika, which is in Wayanad in the Western Ghats in Kerala. So we kind of get the signature botanicals from there, so that is cassia bark, pomelo fruit and nutmeg mace. So nutmeg mace envelops the nutmeg and it gives a kind of spicy finish, while the cassia gives some sweetness and the pomelo some citrus and fruit. And then we built the rest of the recipe around that to create a gin that's fairly contemporary with a bit of citrus, spice and a little bit of sweetness. And so I want to kind of make more kind of niche and interesting spirits, and we'll be doing that by adding a pomelo vodka, an absinthe, an aquavit, and then next year we'll be going and producing a rum. And we're likely going to use jaggery instead of molasses, and jaggery we're going to probably source again from Kerala to keep that connection going.
And it certainly is a family affair, because it's not just your wife Bhagya who's involved.
No, exactly. My father Brendan's also a co-founder of the business, so he comes from a construction background and was really, you know, a big help in trying to get this building in good shape for launch.
It's a magnificent building.
Yeah, no, it's a great building. It was a Ford building, specifically the electrical transformer building for Fords. I believe it was from the mid-20s to 1984 was in use in that function.
And it is the first distillery in 50 years to open its doors here, is that right?
Yeah, within the city limits we're the first distillery in 50 years. And for us it was great to kind of reanimate the building of great industrial heritage that we're sitting in right now with our distillery and our soon-to-be opened visitor centre. Obviously this is all COVID dependent, but we're aiming towards kind of mid to late August for our opening. And our initial offering will be a tour of our distillery, tasting here. We would be looking to add a gin school to that offering. One of the reasons why the bar we're sitting at now has got 2 layers is because there'll be a little mini still placed here, like you can see there, and that people could be able to make their own gin and maybe make their own other spirits as well, like make your own aquavit, make your own absinthe.
Robert, it's always so lovely to hear about any business opening its doors, but certainly over the last year and a half that we've had, and it's been so tricky for so many industries, and the hospitality and the drinks industry too. So thank you for telling us all about your new business, and the best of luck. And for now, let's cheers to that.
After visiting the distillery, I ventured back into the city centre to Princes Street to wrap up my Cork adventure. After my morning at sea, where better to get a well-deserved meal than at Quinlan's seafood bar.
Rosie, I hope you enjoy that name.
Oh, thank you so much. Looks gorgeous. Can't ask for better than that. The perfect end to the perfect day. Cheers.
They are leading the way with outdoor dining. That's a nice
Looks
setup.
amazing down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Now, up next, from holidaying at home to holidaying abroad, we'll have advice for all you need for a smooth summer getaway.